Report. I'm the Mouth of the North, Andrew Reece, and I'm coming to you with another NFL Locks video. I wanted to do these weekly now where I give you some of my best picks of the week, try to help you make some money. As always, only bet what you can afford and don't let gambling get out of control. But here are my picks. I've gotten requests this week to do this show, so for those who are requesting and have joined, thank you very much. I'm at 699 subscribers now. I need one more to get to 700. So whoever that person is, thank you. When I get to 700, I'll be very happy and I'll let everyone know. But let's start with spread picks for week 8 of the NFL. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles -7 at home over the Giants. I know the Eagles are without Brown, A.J. Brown, but I think the Eagles actually play better, not having that distraction. I'm not saying that A.J. Brown is a bad person or a bad teammate, but it feels like the story's always about him. Now that he's out of the game, I think that Saquon Barkley has his best game of the season, and the Eagles run all over that Giants defense. The Giants defense on the road is 29th in the NFL in passing, and it's not much better against the rush. It's like 25th against the league against the rush. And so I think it's a safe bet to say that Philadelphia gets some major revenge on the Giants here, the G-men, and they win -7 at home against their division rival. Now let's go to the Atlanta Falcons. They get a schedule win over here as they play the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, they're pretty close to the worst team in the NFL. They're falling apart at the seams. The coach is having on-field fights with teammates. You have Tua saying he can't see over the line to pass to Jalen Waddle. The only bright spot of this team is the running back, Davon Achane. The rest of the team has fallen apart. And their reward is to play Atlanta. Now, Atlanta has one of the better defenses in the NFL, and they're starting Kirk Cousins this week, which I never thought I would say was a positive, but Michael Penix is still a work in progress, and Cousins might actually help them pass the ball a little bit better. But hopefully he doesn't turn it over too much, because I think that with Miami's league worst rushing defense, you pan the ball to Bijan Robinson and you let him run the football all day and you win the game. So as long as Kirk Cousins doesn't make the mistake of thinking he's going to play hero ball and try to pass the ball all day, then Atlanta should cover -7.5 over the Dolphins at home in a big game for them to try to keep pace with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now we go to the Sunday nighter. Sunday night, as my phone's beeping, of course, my phone starts beeping when, I'm not talking to anybody and I'm not doing a show, nobody calls. But then I'm on my show, everyone starts calling and texting. So I'm going to go to Sunday night. The Pittsburgh Steelers are at home to the Green Bay Packers. They're +3, and I know why they're +3. They're +3 because Green Bay is always going to get that respect, even though they have not really played well on the road, barely beating the Arizona Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett last week, losing to the Cleveland Browns, and tying the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think Green Bay should be a -3 on the road at this point until they show they can play better defense and they have a more consistent offense. Pittsburgh's defense has been awful all season, despite spending all their money on defense. Rodgers has had to play, very well, and they've had to have a great running attack to win these games. That loss to Cincinnati last week was inexcusable in Cincinnati to Joe Flacco, but Mike Tomlin basically called it before the game even started, so they had lost that game before it even started. They go back home. Rodgers, I think, despite what he says in the media, is really going to want this game against his old team. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh +3, and I think they're going to win the game outright. So that's your Sunday night special. And now let's get to the Monday nighter, because I like to cover, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, late Sunday, and then Monday. This one, guys, is not going to be pretty. I hate to say it, but the Kansas City Chiefs are back. They have their full complement of receivers. Travis Kelce is still catching the football, looking well. Their defense is playing great, and they're playing at home to a Commanders team that's without their quarterback, missing Deebo Samuel, just getting Scary Terry back. Ertz is out there, but getting a little older. They still have Jacoby Merritt out there running the football with that three-pronged attack. But I think they're in a lot of trouble, this Washington team playing this Kansas City team on Monday night. I think the Chiefs win and win rather easy. Now, this line opened at 10.5, and it's now 12.5, which tells you all the money's on Kansas City. So I think Kansas City's going to cover the spread relatively easy. Not the biggest fan of big spreads, but when it's non-division, I'm happy to take Kansas City over a struggling Washington team who really struggles on the road. So that's my 4-team point spread parlay. Now let me get to the totals. I like to give 4-teamers, guys, because for $40, it makes you anywhere from $400 to $600. So good luck with your wagers. Chicago plays the Baltimore Ravens this week. Now, Baltimore's coming off a bye, and Chicago is coming off winning 4 straight games. Baltimore's lost 4 in a row. They're 1-5. I believe Lamar Jackson will be back for Baltimore. I'm just going to take a quick look to see if he's back this week. And if he is back this week, I expect a very high scoring game. The Chicago defense is not good, and neither is the Ravens defense. Now, this pick is solely based on whether Lamar Jackson plays. If he plays, then I expect this game to be high scoring because the Bears don't play any defense, and neither does Baltimore. So expect an over in this game. Expect a lot of scoring up and down the field. The line is 45 right now, and that's because no one knows if Lamar Jackson is playing or not yet. Expect that to go up if he does play, but I think this game goes over the total. Bears playing a lot of offense, not much defense, and I expect their defense to give up a lot to Derrick Henry. So as long as Jackson's playing, then they should be all right. Oh, actually, I just got an update, and Lamar Jackson is out for the game. So scratch that pick. We're going to pick another game. Let me get to my first game because I'm not going to take the Chicago-Baltimore game. What an update I just got. Just got an update that Lamar is out, so we're not going to take that game anymore. But I will take the San Francisco-Houston game to go under. Now, both these defenses are in the top 10. Houston's number 1, and San Francisco's defense has been great all year. It's Mac Jones against C.J. Stroud with no receivers. And even San Francisco, they have a million injuries. So expect a low-scoring game here. I think this is one of the better bets of the week for this game to be a low-scoring game. I'm just going to get the total for you guys. It's 42. I don't think there's any chance those teams score over 42 points. So that's your first over-under play. Next, we go to the Cleveland Browns going to New England to take on the Patriots. Now, if Cleveland's going to give you one thing, it's running and defense. So they're going to try to control the clock and play good defense. That's how they keep games low-scoring and close. New England's offense has been great. Running game, not so much. And so if it's going to be a defensive battle, which I believe it will be, I think it's going to be low-scoring. New England still wins the game, but it will be low-scoring. I cannot see this game being a high-scoring football game. So with a total at 40.5, that's pretty low. And I imagine it'll be under that total. Look, Dylan Gabriel has not played well, in my opinion. Cleveland's had more success because Junekins is running the ball well, and they played a couple of bad defenses. But Dylan Gabriel has not showed me that he can consistently throw the football. And so you're going to see a lot of run game from Cleveland, a lot of running down the clock and trying to keep their offense, their defense well and on the field fresh against New England. And therefore, you have a low-scoring game that New England wins late. So take the under in Cleveland, New England. Next, we have Dallas and Denver. Now, the Denver defense is good, but they gave up a lot of points to that Giants team last week at home. And they also gave up a lot to the Indy team, in week 2 when they gave up 29. So the Denver defense is inconsistent for sure. They're playing a Dallas team that has to outscore you to win. Now, Dallas has played well all season offensively. So even if they lose this game, it's going to be high scoring. Now, my concern is the Denver offense because the first 3 quarters of that game, they were doing nothing against the G-men. And then all of a sudden in quarter 4, they score 33 points. So that does have me concerned. But the way the Dallas Cowboys play offense, this is going to be a high scoring game. I think it comes down to the last field goal at the end. Dallas, especially on the road, plays high scoring games. And so if they're healthy, which they are right now, I expect this to be a high scoring game. Javonte Williams looking for a little revenge against his old team. So going back to Denver, I think this goes over the total. It's 50.5 right now. And I think that it's going to be at least a 30-27 game. Late, someone wins the game. I think it'll be Denver, but definitely an over. Now, I'm going to replace the Chicago Baltimore game because Lamar Jackson's out with Tennessee and Indianapolis. Now, I'm not going to take the spread in this game because it's too high. I don't like taking big spreads in interdivision. There's always close games or upsets when that happens. But what I will do is take the under in this game. Tennessee's fired their coach. They can't score. They somehow lucked out a win against Arizona when Arizona just basically choked up the game by, dropping the ball before the end zone. But the way Indianapolis is playing right now, they have a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense. I think this game will be over early. They'll rest the starters, and the game will end up like 40-6 or something like that. The total in this game is 47.5, or sorry, 48 now. So I think it's going to be a blowout, and therefore it's a low-scoring blowout. I don't think Tennessee scores more than 6 points in this game, maybe 9 points tops. Maybe they get a touchdown late and it's 10 points. But Indy's going to win this game and have their starters out by the third quarter. So under in Tennessee, Indianapolis to complete your 4-teamer. Now let's get to the props. I have 4 props for you this week. Let's start with Jalen Hurts. Now, the Giants are going to try to be competitive in this game. I don't think they're going to win this game, but they sure are going to keep Philadelphia on their heels. Now, even though AJ Brown is out, I got my NBA mind working right now. I still think Hurts is going to go over 209.5 yards passing. Now, I do think Barkley will have a big day, but I think the G-men will keep it interesting enough early on that Hurts is going to have to throw the football. And it's not a safe bet that Barkley's guaranteed to rebound in this game. He has not had a good season at all. The Madden curse is alive and well, and it has put itself on Mr. Barkley because he's had a terrible season since being on the Madden cover, doing that jump over the lineman to secure extra yards, and it's not looking good for him right now. I don't know if he's unhealthy, but he's not running the football like he did last season. So it's going to be on Jalen Hurts to win this game. I think he'll throw the ball to Goddard and Smith a lot, and he will have to go over the total to win this game, 209.5. Now let's get to the New Orleans Saints. They're playing Tampa Bay this week in a division battle. I think that no matter what happens in this game, it's going to require a comeback from New Orleans. Tampa Bay will be up early, and New Orleans will have to throw the football to get back in the game. Having said that, I have Spencer Rattler. I can't believe he's played good all year, this guy, I have him going over 220.5 for his passing yards. I think even if they run the ball early, which I don't think they're going to because Kamara's not really had a good year and Miller's been running the ball half the time, I think that Rattler's going to have to throw, and they've got good receivers. So I expect him to go over the total, whether they're up or not. Even if they're up, I think they'll throw the football because Baker Mayfield's not going anywhere. He's always going to come back and score. So I expect him to rather to have to keep up and they'll go for over his total. Having said that, Chris Olave, who's the receiver, who's most targeted by Spencer, will also go over his total of 62.5. It's a pretty low total for him as he's averaged over 90 yards the last couple of games. So take the over for Olave. Tampa Bay's pass defense is in the bottom half of the league. It's 26th in the NFL. So expect a lot of passing from New Orleans and for those two to go over their totals. And finally, on Monday night, I expect the Kansas City Chiefs to give it to Washington. Washington's pass defense is 25th in the NFL on the road, and that means Patrick Mahomes is going to have a field day with all his new toys. But specifically, Travis Kelce, I expect to go over 43.5 passing yards. He targets him all the time, and with Worthy and Rashid Rice out there running track meets, he's going to be open in the middle of the field, and his safety net will get over 43.5 yards. So those are my 3-4 team parlays for you this week. As I said, have some fun with it. Try to make some money. Only bet what you can afford. but I'm happy to give you these picks. I do pretty well myself, and I have fun with it every year. I'm hoping to bring you some NBA stuff later on in the year if I can get enough time to give you picks, probably on the weekend only, along with some college basketball. But for now, I'm just giving you football and hope you have some success with that. What are your picks? Guys, comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me what your picks are on the, in the comments section. It'd be nice to sort of compare picks. So anyone who's watching this, give me your picks too. It'd be nice to see who agrees, who doesn't, and if there's some different picks out there. So give those to me as well. But until then, or until my next show, I'm the Mouth of the North, Andrew Reece. Good luck this week, boys. It's week 8 in the NFL. Next week's the trade deadline. Have fun with it and enjoy all the games this week. And I will see you next week on the Reece Report. I'm out.